Next guest, his name's Daniel Sorensen. He's on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Daniel, welcome back to BYU Sports Nation, man.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. And on this pro day, we'll talk to you about that in a second. But first, congratulations on the new contract. 16.
Yay!
Is it weird
Yay!
having everyone know how much you make?
Yeah, it is.
It's like $8 million guaranteed.
Comes at dinner.
You said when it comes to dinner?
Yeah.
When the check gets brought over at the dinner table.
Oh, I thought you said that you wanted to take me and Jerem to dinner to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you said. Hey, I was telling these guys that we found out. Well, I found out a couple months ago that you were my neighbor, man, and it was just so exciting to hear that my neighbor, just a couple doors down, just got this nice contract. We should go on like some play dates with our kids and stuff. Just walk into the park and yeah, man. Or I mean, it's cool too to know somebody. Being a neighbor, because like if I need some sugar or like some ketchup or like $1 million or something, like you're right there.
Yeah, right there. Come knock on the door.
Daniel, you were an undrafted free agent. You were invited to the combine. You had BYU Pro Day. How validating was it to get this contract, given all the hard work you put in?
Yeah, it's definitely a sense of accomplishment and you feel like your hard work is paid off. But at the same time, now you've got a value and an expectation to live up to. Before you were the cheap guy, and anything you did was a bonus for being on the team. Now there's a value that you have to live up to and perform at, and so that's kind of the next focus. As gratifying as it is, it's also humbling at the same time, knowing that there's a lot of hard work that you've got to prove.
Now you're expected to pick off Drew Brees with regularity and return it for a touchdown more often, right?
Yeah, more times.
Right. So Danny, I mean, your journey and your accomplishments, it all started, at your pro day, like these guys. How was your pro day at BYU, and just take us back to some of the memories that you had.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to go to the combine and went through that process, and Jamal and Harvey have gone through that. And I didn't like some of the numbers that I put up at the combine, and so I was retesting there at the pro day. So it was still really important to me to improve on some of the things that I didn't do well, and I know those guys are kind of doing the same there. But for these other guys, it's an opportunity to interact with scouts, for them to get a first look and a first taste at these guys, to talk to them, to see them in person, to see them move, and to go through these drills. It's great. It's huge for them, and it can really help a guy a lot. A lot of these scouts already know what Taysom can do on the field, what Jamal can do on the field, what Harvey and all these guys. They've seen the film, they've watched this stuff, but now they've been given 6 to 8 weeks to train for something, and they can see, okay, this guy's put in the work, this guy's put in the dedication. He's improved, he made these improvements, these are his numbers, this is what we can do with them. And so it's a great opportunity for these guys, to show these scouts, what they've been working on and what they can do.
Daniel Sorensen is on BYU Sports Nation. Safety with Kansas City Chiefs just signed a $16 million deal, 8 guaranteed. Now BYU has these guys, as you mentioned, trying to make it to the NFL. You've been in the league a couple years. You know what it takes to get in. Jamal Williams expected to be potentially a day 2 draft pick. Harvey Longy probably going to get drafted. Kind of Kua and Taysom Hill and some of these guys. What do you think of the chances of Taysom Hill and kind of Kua getting into a camp and potentially landing on a team?
Yeah, and that's the tricky part is, they have all these draft evaluations and all these predictions of things, and sometimes it doesn't go, the way that you would expect, you would assume. But I do think that these guys will make a team and make it to a camp. And the interesting and the great thing about making it to a camp is that everyone's then on a level playing field, whether you were drafted or undrafted. you then have to play football. All these numbers and all these, times that everyone gets so excited about and things like that, that kind of all goes out the window, and it's back to football. And what can you do from here on out, right? And so, any advice I'd give them is, go and make each of your reps count, right? And whether you're drafted or undrafted, it doesn't matter. If you're making plays, and coaches and scouts will want you on their team.
That's right, man. We used to say put it on film, man, put it on tape, because it doesn't matter how big you are or fast you are. It doesn't really matter if you can't do nothing, on the football field. So great advice there. And with you, being undrafted, and getting that call during draft day and going through that process. And I remember this was with Alani, and I got some inside information about him in Arizona and how they just really wanted him. So I remember being there hand in hand with him. But with you, what advice would you give to these guys when there's 5 or 10 different teams that are calling and saying, "Hey, come with me. I got the best opportunity for you." What are some of the things that you would tell them to look out for?
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's a short time, and it happens really fast. You have a lot of teams calling, and you have to make a decision really fast. From my experience, the Chiefs weren't even on our radar. We had other teams that we were looking at by strictly depth charts of who needed safeties, right? Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs weren't on our
Daniel, we might have lost you. Oh, there you go. We can hear you now.
You there?
Yeah.
Yep. I was just saying, Coach Reed called me and left me a voicemail. He was the only head coach that actually gave me a personal call, and that, to me, spoke volumes. If the head coach is calling and wants you to be on the team, then it's a good enough situation for me to go. You can do a lot of research and plan out these teams, but sometimes it just go with your gut and the place where you think you're going to have the best opportunity to showcase what you got, the talent that you have, because ultimately that's the most important is you need opportunities and experience to show what you can do.
Well, Daniel, we're all very excited for you. Congratulations on the contract. We'll be paying attention here in the offseason. Hopefully there's some more Daniel Sorensen types here at Pro Day today for BYU.
Yeah.
Okay, we appreciate the time, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.